Durant is ramping up and is expected to play a few minutes today in Team USA's final tune-up before the Olympics, this against Germany. Paul, how much of a difference will KD make?
Make a huge difference, Skip. I mean, he's been one of the best players internationally of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about one of the great shooters. He's going to add versatility to them. He's going to add shot making, which they desperately needed last game. And he'll bring a calm, to this team, I believe, on the offensive end. When it looks like they're stagnant at times and, can't get a bucket. He's the one guy out of all the guys, even though LeBron's the all-time leading scorer, this guy right here is just purely unstoppable. Like, when you need a bucket, you go to Kevin Durant. And so, only concern of mine is, do you start him? Do you bring him off the bench? Only concern of mine is their chemistry isn't all the way there yet. And then you bring in a guy who hasn't had a lot of practice time, hasn't had a lot of game time to kind of get into game shape, which is a difference from practice. So hopefully, he can contribute and make a difference because they look shaky last game. So I don't know how it's going to be.
Come over to my side of the fence.
It looks shaky, so hopefully he does. I mean, it shouldn't even have to come down to say we need Kevin Durant based on what they already got. But ultimately, after watching that last game, it's like they need him. Yeah. They need him. And I like, you shouldn't even need LeBron with all the talent that they got out here. But they need him. Yep. They need him, it looks like, because the world has shown they've caught up. The world has shown, like I said earlier, they're not afraid. And they need all the help they can get at this point because they haven't been convincing enough for me. They haven't covered the spread a couple of times, and I know a 40-point spread and Serbia a 20-point spread. They couldn't, but they need all the bodies they can get, and I'm a little concerned. Hopefully, they can work them in and get the chemistry right, and they win gold.
Look, I think Kevin will eventually take Devin Booker's spot in the starting lineup. He won't today, obviously, but I think that is eventually what will happen there. And I don't worry about fit. Kevin Durant is the best of any NBA superstar at fitting in a new place. Absolutely. He's changed teams a lot. We've talked about that. And in every time, he needs no run-up. In the first game, he looks great. He's got the most FIBA experience of anyone on that team. He's already the leading scorer for American men. In the history of Team USA, he has the chance to be the first American man basketball player. I want to keep saying man because the women have done it already. But American man to win 4 gold medals in basketball. He is just such a natural talent for this kind of game, this Olympic style of game. And I also don't worry about the fit because he is on the older side, playing with, as you point out, players on the older side. They've played together in a bunch of all-star games. They've played together in training camps. A lot of these guys played with him on the last Olympic team. So I don't worry about the chemistry issues there either. I think he's going to be a huge asset for them. And I think it was smart to let him take the time to heal from this calf injury because there's no need in friendlies to rush him back. But I think he's going to be a huge presence. We're going to be talking about the entire Olympics.
Okay. I'm going to mention this quickly and just once. Rachel and I went back and forth a couple of weeks ago about it, but Kevin has a calf pull that is plaguing him, and if you've ever had one, it just won't leave you be. And what happened in the finals when he had a calf pull and rushed back to try to save Golden State, the Achilles tore. I'm knocking on wood because I don't even want to bring it up, but I know that lurks in Kevin's psyche as we speak because he's an older player now and he went through all that. The rehab is endless for the Achilles and he missed the whole next season because of it. And he's being probably overcautious because you don't want to push off too hard. So I'll be very intrigued to see how he looks, how gingerly he sort of steps and plays. Because to both your points, he's it. I mean, he is the ultimate difference maker on this whole roster where he changes everything. He changed everything last time, and when they got in trouble against Australia last time, Kevin just said, I got it. Dame missed a couple of free throws, and Kevin said next time down, when they inbounded, they're going to get fouled. It's like Kevin said, no, just give me the ball. Right. And he went down there and went swish, swish, and the game was over. So the point is, he's it. He should be the most qualified to lead us to gold. And yet, I get what you're saying about chemistry, but we're so late in the game now. This is it. It's going to start a week from yesterday. They play Serbia for real, right?
Right.
Group play. And then 3 days later, they play South Sudan for real. And then a couple of days later, 3 days, I think it is, they play Puerto Rico for real to get out of group play to get into the single elimination. So it's upon us. And it's funny, your point about you can close your eyes and pick five. I don't disagree with it, but the hard part is which five? I mean, because you do have egos to juggle, and you do have some guys play better with each other than other guys do. So you got to figure that out, because when you get down to games where you get down to single elimination, you better pick your five that you start with and finish with. Pretty much where you got to stick with, dance with who brung you, as they said back in Texas. Like who gets you here? Who's going to get you home the best? And obviously, Kevin, I like it's Devin Booker. He would step right in for Devin probably against Serbia next Sunday. I'm pretty sure if they see enough of him here. Yeah. But it's funny with all the Kawhi controversy. I told you when they finally sent Kawhi home, it actually. I hated it for Kawhi because he really wanted to play, but it's actually a blessing for Steve Kerr because it's just one superstar down where you don't have to fit Kawhi in, because he would be in the starting lineup, and now you'd be saying, well, do we tell Kawhi he's got to sit down for, he's got to watch for a while?
Look, it's why they replaced Kawhi Leonard, who is a two-time Finals MVP, with Derek White, who doesn't even play the same position.
Nope.
Because they had a logjam there.
They did.
Especially with the way, again, that they're playing Bam and AD together. And this was a way to take down the ego factor, to take down the sort of whose minutes is he going to get factor, that kind of stuff, and also bring in a very good defensive player. To me, there's just no question about Kevin's chemistry fit. I don't see it having a problem.
He fits with everybody.
He fits with everybody.
He's the most plug-and-play player that there is probably in history. NBA history.
Is he the most plug-and-play superstar in NBA history?
You can put him with anybody. Because it's like we always say, well, LeBron needs shooters around him. He needs this type of players around him. Well, you need Magic Johnson needs these guys who can get out on the break and finish and all these things. But with KD, in the history, if I say, let me put KD on the team with Michael Jordan, he'll score 30. You feel like, let me put him on the team.
On few shots.
Let me put him out there with Shaq. He'll still get 30. Let me put out there, let me team him up with LeBron. Well, I still feel like he'll get 30. I mean, he doesn't.
By the way, what he's averaging in the last two Olympics, he's also the reigning Olympic MVP. That's how good he is.
Because he's not a ball-dominant player. He can play on the ball. He can play off the ball. You can put him in a post. He can spot up. That's what makes him so easy to plug and play. Where certain guys who are on the ball, you're like, well, I don't know if I can play him with these two ball-dominant players because the fit just not there. With him, plug and play. And that's why he's a difference maker, and that's why they desperately need him. And we shouldn't be happy to say they need Kevin Durant to win gold. But based on what we've seen, especially in the last game versus South Sudan, they have trouble scoring and their shooting was a problem. They're definitely going to need them on both ends of the court.
So you did bring up the point earlier in the show, and I'm going to reiterate it. LeBron is older, obviously, and Steph is getting older, and so is Kevin Durant.
They're all mid-30s.
Okay, all right, and going into up.